Hello and welcome to this bonus video on Act 2 Scene 3. There is so much going on in this scene that I've got two bonus videos for it, and I could have done more, but I need to stop somewhere. So in this video we're going to think about motifs, and there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, when you're writing in an exam, if you write about motifs you can show your knowledge of the whole play. You can quite easily connect different sections of the play together, and that's a bit of a show-off move. If you're able to say, well, Act 5 Scene 1 and Act 1 Scene 2 are linked together for this reason. And it also means that you'll automatically be doing high-level analysis. You'll be talking about symbols, you'll be talking about imagery, you'll be saying what those things mean. So that prompts you to analyse without really even thinking about it that much. We're going to look at three motifs in this video. First one is the motif of blood. So stop the video, brain dump everything you know about this motif, and then start the video again when you're ready. Okay, here we go. First thing we know is that bloodshed in the service of the king is celebrated in Act 1 Scene 2. So Macbeth's sword smoked with bloody execution as he went to kill MacDonald, who was the man who betrayed King Duncan at the start of the play. We know from Act 1 Scene 5 that blood is also associated with emotions. Lady Macbeth says, "Make thick my blood." Quick blood goes around the body quickly, it transports the emotions quickly, and thick blood goes more slowly, so the emotions go more slowly. That is not scientifically accurate these days, but that is what they thought at the time. We know that shedding the king's blood is treason. Macbeth talks about bloody instructions that plague the inventor. So we've got established at the start of the play kind of opposites. Bloodshed in the service of the king is a really good thing, but killing the king and shedding his blood is a bad thing. As Macbeth approaches Duncan's chamber to murder him, he sees the air-drawn dagger, which is covered in gouts of blood. After the murder, he has hangman's hands, which are covered in blood. Lady Macbeth talks about the filthy witness of blood on their hands. Macbeth thinks he's never going to be able to wash his hands. He says, "Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand?" He needs all the water in the world to clean this blood off. And now the blood has a metaphorical meaning of guilt, so he thinks he's never going to be free of the guilt of killing Duncan. Lady Macbeth, on the other hand, says actually, we don't need very much water. We can quite easily wash away this blood, quite easily wash away this guilt. Now in Act 2 Scene 3, which is the one we've been reading today, Macbeth talks about Duncan's golden blood. So this blood is the blood of the king. It is blood that's kind of linked with the authority of God. It's really precious and it has been spilled. We also have the idea of the bloody piece of work in this scene. So blood throughout the play has two meanings really, that spilling blood in the service of the king is a really good thing, but spilling blood illegitimately is a really bad thing. Let's look at the idea of unnaturalness in nature then. Now this is a little bit more tricky to get your head around, so I'll just show you the first one so you can get going. One of the first times we see this idea of things being unnatural are where we meet the witches in Act 1 Scene 3. And Banquo says to them, "You should be women, and yet you've got beards." So in the play we have a kind of play on unnatural representations of people and unnatural events. Okay, so I'll just caveat that there, by the way, with this idea of gender. Obviously we're talking about Shakespeare's time. And unnatural kind of ideas of gender in Shakespeare's time are totally different from how we perceive fluidity of gender today. Anyway, pause the video, jot down where else you've seen unnatural ideas in the play, and then start the video again when you're ready. Okay, so also Act 1 Scene 3, the witches vanish, they melt, so their behaviour is unnatural. They are instruments of darkness, so again connected to kind of unnatural, supernatural ideas. Macbeth then has the horrid image of regicide in his head, and his heart is beating so fast that it's against the use of nature. So he feels his body becoming unnatural when he thinks about regicide. Lady Macbeth says, "Unsex me here." As I've mentioned, in Shakespeare's time, they would have thought that that was a kind of unnatural play on gender. These days, we would have a different opinion about that, but we're talking about Shakespeare's time. Banquo, interestingly, has some cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Now, this is a really interesting one. We know that Macbeth has cursed thoughts of regicide, but Banquo also has received a prophecy from the witches, and he has cursed thoughts that he never really explains or acts on, but he says that his nature gives way to these thoughts. So it's almost as if his kind of natural thought, his natural morality, gives way to these evil thoughts that have been planted in his head by the witches. In the dagger scene, Macbeth says that nature seems dead, so it's almost as if everything that's natural has been extinguished by what he's about to do. After the murder, we have another reference to nature and unnaturalness. So Macbeth is unable to experience nature's second course, which is sleep. So he again has become unnatural. Then, after the murder, Lennox comments on all sorts of unnatural things happening in the world. And one example of this is that he says that Earth was feverish. And in Act 2, Scene 4, we're going to hear about more unnatural happenings in the world. So lots and lots of unnatural references in the text. And the idea is that nature is connected with everything that's good, that's moral, with God, and also with Duncan. Duncan talks about planting people and making them grow. So everything that's natural is connected with those kind of positive ideas. And then everything unnatural is connected with evil, with the witches, with the prophecies, with the regicide, with the chaos that Macbeth unleashes after he kills Duncan. The last motif we're going to look at in this video then is the motif of deception or facade. And again, I'll give you an idea just to get you going. So the witches at the start of the play say that fair is foul and foul is fair. Okay, stop the video, jot down everything you know about this motif, and then start the video again when you're ready. Right, so we have the witches who introduce this theme. Then Duncan says there's no art to find the mind's construction in the face, as in what's going on in the mind isn't shown in the face. So how could you possibly work out what people are thinking? People could be deceiving me. Well, how right he was. Lady Macbeth tells her husband to look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it, as in on the surface, be patriotic, be loyal, but underneath it you're going to be corrupt and malevolent. Macbeth says, false face must hide what the false heart does know. So his face is going to hide what's going on in his heart. And then in Act 2, Scene 3, Malcolm recognises this as well. And he says there's daggers in men's smiles. So people look really loyal, but actually underneath there's something really violent and corrupt and deceptive going on. Okay, there you go. Thanks for listening, and check out the next video on Act 2, Scene 4.